Hello viewers, welcome to a lecture series on CSR. This is going to be part 2 of my lectures on CSR in India. What is the trend and what is the statistics of the CSR in terms of the legal framework of CSR, the year in which it was implemented, that was 2013. And since 2013, what is the success, what is the contribution of the CSR in Indian scenario, that I am going to present before you. So, my dear learners, in the previous lecture of mine, I told you about the entire philosophy behind having this mandatory CSR in India, and we also had a discussion on the way companies can plan and execute this entire CSR discourse in the Indian scenario that actually we have already discussed. Now it's time for us to understand what are the recent trends in CSR compliance. So CSR spending is now mandatory and it is now accepted by all the corporate entities that we have to mandatorily spend on listed CSR activities. The spending time frames are now finite time periods, and NGOs are acting as partners in the implementation and compliance of CSR in India. Even the government, or I would say Ministry of Corporate Affairs, is closely monitoring the CSR spending and compliance, cause the results are very encouraging, and the corporate entities, they are contributing significantly to the cause, and that is why the government is also very enthusiastic about the implementation of CSR in a planned manner. So CSR is actively utilized for nation building and disaster management, and that you can find the expenditure with the help of expenditure summary of CSR for the year 2021-22. If you look at the total number of companies involved in CSR, it is 18,623. My dear learners, before I tell you about this entire statistics, I would like to highlight here that there is a specific website, csr.gov.in, which is giving you the complete data of CSR expenditure by companies. It is the data is very comprehensive. You find state wise, you can find company wise expenditure, you can find the total amount, and you can even find on the dynamic data on the map of India, where the simply when you move around that entire map, you find the value. Your cursor is actually indicating the figure, the value. So it is a dynamic data which is being updated by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs on a real time basis. So from there only I got this data, and the total number of companies which are involved in CSR is now 18,623. And if you look at the total amount spent on CSR in the year 2021-22, it was 25,932.79 crores. So around 26,000 crore rupees are being spent by corporate entities on listed CSR activities. Now you can imagine the magnitude of contribution these corporate entities are making in the field of CSR. Number of states and union territories which are covered is total. If you make total of them, it is 40. Total number of CSR projects are 42,440, and number of development sectors which are involved into this CSR, they are 14. So altogether they are contributing towards the 14 different sectors of our society, and of course the 14 different types of problems which our society is witnessing, and these corporate entities, they are contributing towards solving or eliminating those problems. If you look at the CSR expenditure in India since 2017-18 till 21-22, you would find that in 17-18 this expenditure was 17,098.57 crores, which increased consistently and constantly. In 18-19 it was 20,217.65 crores. In 19-20 you find the value of 24,965.82 crores. In 2021 again it increased 26,210.95 crores, and in 21-22 it is reported to be 25,932.79 crores. So my dear learners, if you look at this data, barring this 21-22 from 17-18 till 2021, there is a consistent and constant increase in the expenditure, 17,098 till to 26,210. Even during the pandemic of COVID-19, this contribution was significant. In the year 2021 it was 26,210. So of course this 21-22 data is showing a slight or a minor decline in the value, but that value may be because of some of the companies which might have gone out of the basket of or the net of this CSR expenditure or mandatory CSR expenditure of 2% of their profit on listed CSR activities, because in that year they might not have booked the profit. So that can be a reason. State-wise expenditure, if you look, you find the Maharashtra to be at the top, and these are the top 10 states. If you look at the bar diagram, you find that the way these states are contributing to the cause in terms of state-wise expenditure. And if you ask me about the top 5 contributors, I would say it is Gujarat, it is Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Delhi is also there contributing to the cause. But Maharashtra is basically contributing in a huge manner. And if you look at the 5 states which are not contributing or which are the least contributors, you would find those states where the names of Andaman and Andaman Nicobar Island is there, Lakshadweep is there, Mizoram is there, and Tripura is there. So these, Nagaland is there. So these are the states where they are not contributing much to the cause. But if you look at the investment distribution across India in a total time span of 2014 to 2021, you find that total size of investment is 1,27,618.6 crores. So now you can imagine the extent of contribution this CSR is making, and this map I have taken from the website of Government of India, which is there for the data of CSR, csr.www.csr.gov.in, and it is giving you the data on real time basis, and they have indicated that Northeast received 1.5% of total CSR investments. So that is the area which received 1.4% of the total area. And if you look at the size of investment starting from Gujarat to Andhra, and then to Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, they are basically contributing significantly to this total CSR investment distribution. So this picture, this entire data is giving a reflection that these are the states which are contributing on the higher side, and whereas the other states are not contributing much. There might be a possibility that in some states there is a concentration of industries, whereas there are some other states where the industries are less in number. So that would actually offer the idea to the government also that in those states government can motivate the industries, the corporate entities to establish their units, and that way they can also contribute. If you look at the CSR investment distribution access in different sectors in India, across different sectors in India, you find that the areas where they are contributing, you would find that out of total investment, 25% of the total investment in a time span of 2014 to 21, it goes to education and livelihood, which means this is the area where the maximum investment, it has attracted the maximum investment. And if you look at the value, in terms of value, you would find a total of 32,094.76 crores. It has gone towards education and livelihood sector. So this is a sector which is the most promising, or I would say that it is having a magnetic impact, where most of the companies, they are contributing. So education and livelihood, they are attracting 25% of total investment. Health comes at second number, and it is actually attracting 20% of the total investment size. So if we actually club these two, education, livelihood and health, we find that 45% of the total investment is going to these two important sectors, that is health and education. Then comes your rural development, where it is 5%. After that comes environment. Then you have Prime Minister's National Relief Fund and other funds also. So education and livelihood sectors, they have actually emerged as the sector which have actually attracted the highest amount in terms of investment. And the second sector is basically your health, where a total of 26,274.18 crore it has gone to the health sector in a time span of 2014 to 21. And my dear learners, 33% of the total CSR funds in the time span of 14 to during 2014 to 2021, it went to pan India, or I would say they have not mentioned where the sectors are were not recorded, because while analyzing this data, it was reported that 33% of the CSR funds, they went to the pan India plans, and they have not specifically mentioned that to which sector they are contributing. So this is another perspective to CSR, that these are the sectors where the contribution is significant. So apart from the other sectors, health and education, they are the you can say the top beneficiary of this CSR contribution, and we all understand that it is the education which is going to act as a light for the people to march ahead in the journey of their not only the life but also the economic life, where they can contribute significantly to the GDP of the country and also to their own livelihood. So education, livelihood and health, if these two sectors are getting the highest benefit, it is reflecting that these companies, they are contributing significantly for the betterment of the society by the way of simply contributing 2% of their profit on listed CSR activities. And my dear learners, you would find that with pride we can say that our corporate entities, apart from making profit or managing their balance sheet, they have defied to that long established notion which is being advertised or publicized globally, that business of business is to do business only. They have actually said no to that. Business of business is to do business, that is fine, but business of business is also to ensure that we are living in a better world, we are living in a better society, we are acting as a responsible corporate citizens. And if you look at top 10 CSR spenders, this data is also available on the website csr.gov.in, and Reliance Industries Limited in this year, it has emerged as a top contributor to the CSR expenditure, followed by HDFC Bank Limited, then Tata Consultancy Services Limited, then comes ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation of India, NTPC Limited, Infosys, ITC, NMDC, Indian Oil, and ICICI Bank. And the list is exhaustive, but these are the top 10 spenders, top 10 CSR spenders. So you can find that now there is a competition among the companies. And my dear learners, I would like to highlight here that these companies, some of these companies, they are not only contributing 2%, they are basically marching much ahead of 2% mandate. 2% is mandatory, they are doing so, but some of the companies, they are contributing on the very higher side of it. They are spending much more than what they are supposed to, what they are supposed to contribute in terms of CSR spending or CSR activities. So this top 10 CSR spenders list is indicating that these companies are contributing in a competitive manner. They are increasingly contributing to the cause, and they are acting as a responsible corporate citizens. And it is actually motivating it is a kind of motivation for other companies also to join this group of top 10 CSR spenders, where we don't find them in a vertical manner. You find horizontally, that you find a horizontal list that in top 10 at the rank of top 2 we have 100 companies, at the rank of top 3 we have 200 companies. So that is going to be the picture if we believe this data which is coming in front of us. Companies which are surpassing mandatory spending requirements, you would find the total companies which were analyzed by the analyst was 18,623, and number of companies exceeding mandated CSR spending is 10,443. So imagine that out of a total number of companies, that is 18,623, 10,000, more than 10,000 companies, they are exceeding mandated CSR spending, which means they are spending more than what they were stipulated to spend. And if we look at the total CSR expenditure, it is in crores, it is 16,107.53 crore rupees. This is the contribution which is basically indicating that now companies are surpassing mandatory spending requirements. So that mandate have actually brought them into the discipline. And this is what, my dear learners, I was telling you at the very outset, that mandatory CSR is one thing. It is bringing discipline to the corporate entities undoubtedly, but the corporate entities, they are very much aware of the social concern, the social causes, and they are contributing significantly. And this data is going to validate what I said at the very outset. So this data is validating that yes, we have more than 10,000 companies which have exceeded the mandated CSR spending requirement. And if you look at the data provided by National CSR portal, there is a remarkable number of companies which have exceeded their mandated CSR spending requirements. And out of 18,623, I told you, out of total companies of 18,623, an impressive 10,443 companies, they have contributed more than their mandated CSR expenditure. And if we look at the total number of companies exceeding mandated CSR, it is coming to be approximately 56%. It is 56% of the total companies. So we can say that majority is exceeding the mandated CSR spending. So 56% of total companies, they are spending more than what they are supposed to spend. So legal framework is saying that you have to spend 2% only, but we have 56% companies out of total companies which are stipulated, which are supposed to spend 2% of their profit, and they are exceeding the mandated CSR spending. So this actually indicate towards a new future trend, future for CSR. So with this data, I would like to tell you what is going to be the next level of CSR. Some people said that it is CSR 4.0 now, because CSR 1 was before this mandate, CSR 2 came with this mandate, CSR 3 with the amendment, and now it is CSR 4. We are going to deal with the fourth generation of CSR trends. So what is going to be the future of CSR? What are the key trends, not only in terms of global scenario but also in Indian scenario? I would say that inclusivity is going to be the trend, and future is going to see more emphasis on ensuring the inclusive society where each and every person is supposed to be the beneficiary of the development. So a strategic approach to CSR which can encompass all essential ingredients in the governance, environmental, financial, economic, social sustainability framework. I won't call it nexus, I would call it social sustainability framework. That is going to be the trend. And in this very trend of contributing in a better manner to the development of the society, the NGOs, the government entities, the companies, they have increasingly they have realized that company or NGO programs are incomplete if they don't address some of the underlying structural and governmental problems. So I can give you an example. For instance, new hospitals or schools in developing world, they have limited and short-lived impacts where the supporting infrastructure of trained staff is missing. So by simply establishing a hospital, you cannot achieve the objective of ensuring good health for your citizens. You have to ensure that it is basically supported by a sound infrastructural facilities. You have good doctors, you have trained staff who can cater to the requirement. And for that purpose, we can take an example of schools also. If you have a very good building of the school, but you don't have teachers, that is not going to serve your purpose. So we have to ensure, and that is why monitoring is very much important. The next trend which is basically emerging is scalability. Scalability will also become a watchword in years to come, and having one niche area or product for CSR is not going to be to be enough, because all products and services which you are offering, they would need to be responsible. So you cannot say that for one product you are acting responsibly, for others you won't. That is not going to serve your purpose. Next would be that you have to put greater emphasis on your supply chains. There would be greater emphasis on supply chains, and this could be the big story for the rest of the decade after the events such as you can say BP's, British Petroleum's Deepwater Horizon tragedy came to the fore. So financial subsidiaries, they need more control. Rating agencies in the background with no obvious accountability, mortgage slicing, emerging market cost, and conditions of work is going to be a new trend in the field of CSR. So and the next another point is selective approach. Companies, they are going to shift towards a selective approach. They can select from the list of activities on which they are supposed to spend. They can make their plans and implement it. So they, if they really wish to shift towards making a big impact in selected areas rather than a system wide approach, they have to follow the selective approach. And in this entire process, the role of government cannot be discounted. They have a significant role to play. They would play an increasing role, for instance, governance, I can say, because countries like Mauritius and India, they have their own legal framework for CSR, and that is why the role of government is to ensure the frequent or the needed amendments, which our government is, we can proudly say that they are doing. The CSR law is mandated as and when it is needed. There are high level committees which are there. We have experts in the field, and they basically look into the problem of problems faced by the corporate entities while implementing their CSR plans. So that is going to increase or enhance the role of the governments. Next very important trend is that you have to have your integrated reporting. Companies are supposed to follow the integrated reporting in their reporting framework. And in the financial year 2021, we have seen that total CSR spent was 26,210 crore, which was almost twice in comparison to financial year 2016, where 14,542 crore rupees were spent. Although the impact of the CSR fund is not widely felt, and there is a need to enhance the visibility as well as impact of these investment fund, because this amount seems to be very huge, but if we compare it in relation to the area, the geographical area with which we are catering to, India being a country where the size of the population is huge, that amount need to be increased, and we need to have a systematic plan for that. So there has been uneven distribution of CSR funds across the states of India, with 10 states receiving 44% of the CSR fund. So top 10 states are basically receiving 44% of the CSR funds, and if you look at the Northeast, it has received less than a percent. It has got 0.91% of the funds in 2021. So the greater emphasis should be on creating an appropriate structure for CSR, and you have to ensure that the funds go towards the well-being of the community, and the intent to do good for the society becomes important. That is something which we are supposed to follow. So what is going to be the future of CSR in India? Quickly, I would tell you that we have to ensure the green growth. We have to talk about innovation and 21st century IT skills. We have to take care of development of remote areas of India. These are the three important trends which I could see from the available literature of CSR. With this, my dear learners, I tried to present before you the key statistics of CSR implementation in India. I hope you must have understood and enjoyed today's lecture of mine. Thank you so much.